So last time on the Islands of the Moon, the band of heroes discovered the lair of Papa.
Dislike.
Struggling and fighting your way through the stranglethorns to the gruesome, gore-covered mouth of a long abandoned mine inside of a natural cave in the hillside, wherein you found a veritable charnel house of gore, death, rot, and plague. You approached cautiously, removing the ghouls that prowled at the entrance, swiftly and effectively. You then stepped very carefully through the quagmire of rotting bodies and approached the open mouth of the cave. You steeled your stomachs and your will against the smell and the looming horror of the dark, fetid pit. Upon entering, you came across a strange encounter. A large, deformed creature was caressing and gently comforting a group of smaller feral ghouls. He named himself as Papa. It seems as that was all the incentive that you needed, and you rushed into the fray. Creating a choke point in one of the narrow corridors, you lured the ghouls towards you, taking many out quite effectively with fire bombs and warding flares, fire spells, arrows, swords, and wanton violence. Though not all of the violence was directed at the attacking ghouls, some of the band of heroes took quite heavy friendly fire hits in the dark, choked corridor and the ensuing confusion and madness of battle. The fight then spilled out into a large, cavernous chamber where you burst in expecting to find the deformed Papa and what was left of his ghouls, instead finding only bloated corpses filled with crawling, biting, writhing rot grubs. Now for Godfrey, he thought fast and purified himself with holy fire, removing the invasive rot grubs and surely saving his own life, aided by the party. An emboldened Sindri at surviving an encounter intact with his party moved into the cavern and was lured to a corpse on the other side of the room on which he saw something glinting. He picked up an ornate pickaxe of beautiful craftsmanship that seemed to be untouched by time, though in doing so sealed his own fate as he was then engulfed by a swarm of rot grubs. It was then that Papa launched his second surprise attack with a band of ghouls. Trapped between the onslaught of tooth and fang and the horror of losing a party member in such an horrific way, you were split in your approach. Some chose to fight off the attacking ghouls with everything they had, while others tried in vain to heal Sindri and remove him of the rot grubs, though in doing so, unfortunately, prolonged his suffering. with this new band of ghouls vanquished, Sindri's mind snapped at the thought of being eaten alive from the inside and dying in such a dank, dark pit of horror. You all swallowed the rising lump in your throat, pushed down the feelings of guilt, did what you could for him, and moved on. Chasing Papa through another narrow, winding mine path. You manage to confront him and stop him momentarily. Very brief scuffle ensues, which leaves Torlek impaled on a sharpened copper vein. Papa makes his escape into the darkness. Then there is silence. And then for you all, a heart-wrenching moment as you hear the blood-curdling cry of Sindri's last breaths. Possibly enraged by the death of a party member, or the fact that Papa has yet again slipped from your grasp, Godfrey managed to help free Torlek from the sharpened spike on which he now is impaled. Was impaled. And Godfrey charged ahead into the darkness and into the gloom of another wide, cavernous chamber. In which he found the 4 whimpering forms of caged humanoids. They seemed mad with despair and whimpered for their mothers and for salvation. Scanning around the room, Godfrey found at the back a ledge where a new mine shaft seemed to have been opened and started, on which Papa stands menacingly with his hand upon a lever. Papa throws the lever and the cages swing open. The mindless rage of torment and terror that these poor unfortunate souls are feeling is now directed solely in Godfrey's direction. At the back of the room, he also notices what seems to be a hastily constructed barrier against an opening mineshaft, which immediately begins to swell and buckle beneath some sort of hidden pressure behind it. As the screams of the half-changed humanoids echo through the corridors and caverns of Papa's home, it is Godfrey that is next to act.
Shit. Okay, well, I'll use my bonus action to move my flaming sphere
Flaming sphere.
to there.
Wonderful.
Can I see Papa from like this angle?
Yes, but he does have cover behind the that metal cage that's sort of blocking. You can see him through the bars moving around.
So could I move here and get a clear line of sight?
Yes, you can indeed.
Okay, I guess I'll try it. I'll use my last spell to cast Guiding Bolt on him.
Wonderful. Okay, so that is going to be... Is that some sort of save for Papa? I can't remember what Guiding Bolt does.
I think it's a... I don't know, I've got before.
It's a ranged
Attack
spell
roll.
attack now.
Yeah. Ranged spell attack. Wonderful.
+7. So... 19.
Right.
It's just 19 to hit.
19 to hit. Yes, we know that hits Papa. Large and flesh. He's not wearing any clothing whatsoever, though we wish he would.
Yeah. Okay, 46 radiant damage.
Oof.
90.
That is
Basic.
spicy.
Could be better. So 10 damage.
10 damage. So
And the
your
next
guiding
attack-
bolt
Next attack has
flies
advantage on
through the air, sending shadows careening all around the cavernous room. Crashes into the fleshy, gluttonous form of Papa with a... The radiant damage burns his skin black.
And I'm going to step back into this corner so I can't get as surrounded as possible.
Weird.
Why?
That would be wonderful. Back yourself up so you have no escape. I like it.
Well, I would back up into there, but I want these guys to be able to get into the chamber.
Are you sure? I think you could probably take all of these on by yourself.
I'm alright, I think. I'm
How-
not that much of a hero.
You've still got half your hit points left. I mean, you probably could.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
No, I'm okay.
It
Actually,
is the-
I'll move that there so it's getting anyone that comes near us.
The wounded and winded Torlek is up next.
Okay.
If you want a second level guiding bolt, then you've got advantage to a hit.
Yes. Mr. DM, can I stand here? Or is that square too small?
Wait a second. Ah.
It's gonna be like it's actually full of rot grubs. There's a rot grub statue there. Hold on.
Yes. It's all of the rot grubs. I can't quite remember. Yes. Yes. I believe I did. Yes, you've got a pierced stomach, haven't you?
I have.
Pierced stomach. That's yes. Right, so that's fine. Yes, there's no restrictions on you moving. Yes, you can move to that point there. That's absolutely fine.
Cool. In which case, I will run up to here, and then following Godfrey's suit, I'm going to unalive this guy with a second level guiding bolt.
Ooh!
Go on, roll some good damage.
With advantage. I think I'll take the 13 somehow.
Hmm.
Which is going to be
That'll be
13 plus
advantageous for you.
13 plus 5, which is going to be 18 to hit.
Wonderful. So just a recap. Papa's armor class is 15.
15.
That
with
is
it.
a large hit on the large fleshy man.
Awesome. Well, because I cast it at second level, it's going to be 5d6 damage.
Get him.
Ooh!
15.
Much better.
A nice
Golf.
golf clap for you there. 15 damage as a second guiding bolt flickers through the air, sending shadows flying. You know from Papa as the second guiding bolt smashes into his chest and sears the flesh black.
Clerics have had enough of your shit. That's it
Okay.
from me. No bonus actions. Clutch my stomach.
You've been smited, motherfucker.
Wonderful. Next on the scene, and quick to act, is the weaver of word and music, Leoquenor.
Okay. Well, I guess I kind of move about what here quite deftly. Just that's deft movement. Like careful where I'm putting my feet movement.
You can move there deftly. Below your feet you see a pool of Torlek's blood and a blood-covered, sharpened copper spike lying on the floor.
A copper spike.
A large copper spike lying on the
It was
floor.
what was recently impaled in Torlek's stomach, guys.
Nice.
You could
Can I
stab
pick
the
that
guy with it and you get some acid damage, maybe.
You can.
I'll pick
You reckon that? You reckon from where you're from? That's probably 300 pieces worth of copper right there.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
now the time.
I do like money, man. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Gonna need to save that money if you want to resurrect Sindri.
It's gonna take this entire mine, I think.
I guess that's all I can really do, man.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're not gonna use an action, you can use your action to move again.
I know, but then I'll be like in the fray, and there's no more walls to back against, so that just ain't me. So I'll just say that I don't want to block up the gangway. You know what I mean? Like that's a massive choke point right there. I don't want to block it up for the girls coming in. You know, save the day.
It's alright if they're in the room, though, but you'll stay outside.
It's fine. Cool. Never
Okay,
count
wonderful. Okay. Next in the order to move is the weaver of spells and the wielder of crackshot crossbows, Jasail.
Yeah, I've kind of got the same problem where I don't want to just stick myself here.
I mean, can we move through each other's spaces without checks, Glenn?
Yeah,
So
Oh,
you,
that's a good
you
point.
could stand there, I suppose.
yeah.
Ah,
You can move through each
Now
other's
you-
spaces.
Make me look like a coward.
Sorry, is
Look-
that better? I'll stand
Look
behind
like.
you.
It's alright for you with your magical hands.
So can I see Papa from where I am? Because he's kind of round the corner from me.
You cannot, but you can see two open cages with raging forms within making their way out of the open doors.
Yeah, do you know, the rage is real. I'll check
Yes,
with
with the help
Fireball.
of decision making, the older human male in front of you snaps his head in a horrible, unnatural pose and then goes, "Kill for Papa!"
That does help with decision making.
That did help my decision making and my dice rolling.
Oh wow!
One's getting jumpy.
That's 9 damage.
Nice.
And that's a big old hit on the half changed. Oh, firebolt!
Burn for
Oh.
Papa.
Mhm.
Then you see your firebolt goes flicking through the cavernous darkness, casting Torlek and Godfrey's visage in a like horrible dramatic pose as it then smashes into the clothed and robed, tattered, rotted clothed chest of the half-change old man, who then immediately goes "Brah!" and is wreathed in flame as his clothing begins to burn. The spell was way more effective than you thought it would be.
Nice.
Wonderful. Anything else from the
No,
spell?
that's all from me, thank you.
Next on the scene is the sure-footed, sure-shotted, sure-aiming Arwen.
Trying to figure out where to go.
Right here.
Don't stand next to the flame sphere.
Yeah, stand right there, that'll be lovely.
Trapdoor confirmed right there.
New.
Rot worms confirmed.
Absolute trapdoor.
So which of the which of the people is out of their cage now, or just like
None of them have managed to make their way out of the cage yet.
but they're all open, are they?
All the cage doors are open. These people are just a little bit slow on the uptake. So a little bit slow to react.
Okay. Hello? I can get past the yacht corner. I'm kind of gonna like stand here and I don't know. I don't really want to go in the room either.
You can shoot arrows though.
I was gonna say, can I like shoot past Giselle? I'm kind of worried about like her.
Yes, you can. It is assumed that you would go Giselle duck, and Giselle would bob and weave out of the way, provided you don't roll a natural 1.
In which case you shoot her in the back of the head and she dies.
In which case you shoot Giselle in the back.
Even if I go in front of her, I could shoot like one of you guys as well. So.
Not quite. If you move to here, if you're shooting at this man, neither of these guys are sort of in the way that would get hit. Unless it ricochets.
Yeah, box thing. Are these just rocks? I don't know if the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is just decorative pebbles and stones.
Yeah, right.
Or are they wiggling?
I'm the sailed duck. I'll try to get.
Natural 1.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get this monkish looking one. 12.
Ooh.
Plus loads though.
Yeah, 12. Oh yeah, 12. Plus 2. My longbow plus 6. 18.
18. That is a surefire hit on the engulfed in flames form of the half-changed man.
Okay, and I've got a D8 plus 2. 5. Oh,
Outstanding. So you send an arrow flying towards the writhing form of the man covered in flames. You hear a thunk and a pop and a whiz. It sounds like some sort of gaseous balloon popping. Then there's a bubble, a squelch, and then the form begins to slump to the floor.
Ooh.
Good job.
Nice.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
You could potentially quick shot her, maybe.
Yeah, you can hit another one.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if you can see it.
I didn't want to risk fail, but I'm gonna. If anything happens to fail, it's careful. Right. Let's see. Oh, okay. 18. Oh, it's disadvantage, isn't it?
No, it's not disadvantage. You've got -5.
Yeah.
So what's that? +1 after you have modifier?
Yes, 18 plus 1, 19. That's a hit.
Okay, doke. And a D8 plus 2.
Yeah.
9.
9. An excellent arrow. Your quick shot flies swiftly through the gloom of the cavern towards the once armored form of the half-changed half-elf lady. As the arrow strikes true, you hear it punch through the rotten, corroded metal armor, and it strike into the middle of her chest with a "Mama, was that you?" scream coming from her throat. Being slightly slow on the uptake, it takes a while for the half-change to get going and move their cracked, creaked, cramped muscles and bones from the months and possibly years of captivity in these cages. And they race forward screaming, charging towards the nearest enemies. all getting in amongst the flaming sphere.
Nice.
They are now a horde.
Horde
They are
status
now.
confirmed.
Indeed. a horde.
Horde
And they are just going to unleash some attacks. So the half-changed, half-elven lady in old armor is going to swing a very corroded, rotten longsword at Godfrey. It has no visible edge anymore. It's little more than a crude club. That one only a 10 to hit. Again, you managed to deflect it this time with your mace, catching it quite deftly on your mace. You realise there's still some power in these half-change attacks, even though their forms are decrepit and withered, and look as if they should have died a long time ago. The second, smaller form looks to be some sort of halfling girl, and she will attempt to claw your eyes out, Torlek.
Oh dear.
And that is going to be that's going to be 17 to hit.
That is gonna hit.
Oh my god, you feel dirt-crusted fingernails scratch down your forehead and across your eyes. It's alright though, it's only 3 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
Seeing how effective that was, she is going to swipe at Godfrey while she's up on your chest, clawing your face with her second attack. And that one is a 16 to hit. I'm not quite sure that makes it, is it, Godfrey?
Nope.
Nope. So you managed to duck out the way of that one quite quickly without banging your head on the wall behind you. The final one seems to be some sort of half-orc, burly female, once a powerful form, carrying what looks to be the rotten end of a broom handle, with which she will lash out at you, Torlek. And that's going to be a 17 to hit with the broom handle.
Ow.
I hope he survived the broom handle. That's an ignoble end.
Oh, good lord. 7 bludgeoning damage from the broom handle.
Oh
Right.
god. She catches.
Some lead lined that.
The second swing with a broom handle, you managed to this time raise your shield in time, and you hear the shattering of rotten wood as it splinters against your shield and is useless.
It doesn't really matter, mate. She caught me in the stomach, in the pierced stomach with that first one, and I am barely on my feet now.
And with that, it is Papa's turn. Papa turns to the straining barricade behind him that is straining and wheezing. You can now see spurts of a dark green liquid spurting out of where nails have popped out. He looks at it, brings up his huge meaty fists, and slams into it with all of his might. In doing so, the barricade breaks. A dark green liquid begins to spurt forward, sloshing forward with the force, sending quite a waterfall over the side of the embankment and down onto the floor. You can see that the room is starting to fill with this thick green-brown liquid. At the rate that it is coming in, you believe that the entire floor will be covered in a matter of seconds.
All the half change need to make a dex save, Glenn.
Ah, yes. They are not very dexy. We've got a 20, an 8. So the half elf is a 20, the halfling is an 8, and the half orc is a 12.
So the 20 succeeds. They take 3 damage, the rest take 6.
Okay, that's fine. Nice. So you see that your flame attack is much more effective than you initially thought it would be against the rotten clothing of the half-changed. And they as they like the clothing catches on fire in front of you. You can smell their pallid flesh beginning to crisp and bubble underneath the heat of your sacred flame.
Nice.
And it only seems to intensify their rage. And it is Godfrey to now act.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going for power, so I'm gonna sacred flame him. I see my, because it's a dex save for him rather than an attack.
Come on, Papa. Papa needs a new set of shoes. That's a 12.
Fails. 3 radiant damage.
Okay, so you let fly with the sacred flame. Spins across the room, creating a whirlwind behind it of pure white smoke, and then it slaps into Papa's pallid flesh. Master Flame! He screams in pain. You can see with that he starts to look behind him at the cavern wall, nervously looking behind him and then looking back to you. Very quickly flicking between the two as if he's trying to make some sort of decision.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to Word of Radiance. The 2 next to me. So
The half elf and halfling.
Let me make a con save.
Ooh. Well. Where is the constitution? Alright, okay. The half elf has a constitution saving throw of 13.
Fails.
And the halfling has a constitution saving throw of 11.
Fails. So they both take 6 points of radiant damage.
Oh shit!
Wonderful. They scream. You're not quite sure if it's in rage or in pain, or the fact that they are wreathed in flame or being burned with more radiant damage. There's just a lot of noise.
Okay, it's the end of my turn.
Torlek.
I'm just going to lash out at the halfling with the mace. Just go for a smash. Ooh, 20.
Nice.
Torlek smash.
Torlek smash. A d6 of bludgeoning damage. 3.
Outstanding.
And
You feel a sickening crunch, and a large portion of the right-hand side of the small halfling girl comes free with your mace.
Oof.
Some of it's still a flame sticking to the end of it, the rest of it sloughs to the floor with a wet slap. You can now see sinew and bone sort of writhing beneath the flame.
grim. That'll be it from me. I have nothing else. Just kind of lean against the wall a little bit, stagger.
Wonderful. Leoquinor, sing us a song.
This is not the time for songs, man. Alrighty, so I guess I'm gonna move up to here, then, and stab Broom Handle.
Yes.
Not Broomhilda.
No,
Broom
Broom
Handle.
Handle. That's her name.
Go for the mighty.
She's a wizard with that broom handle. Be careful.
With that full-on lead-lined broom handle.
It's now in shattered pieces on the floor. She has but a broken stump in her hand.
Oh no.
15 to hit.
16.
15.
15. Yes, that hits. You manage to strike true to the flaming form of Broomhandle.
Then he can take 6 damage.
6 damage. As you stab forward deftly with your rapier, it pierces flesh. You whip it back, there's a ripping and a sloughing and there's a loud splatter as Broomhandle's guts spill out onto the floor and her attention spins to you.
Yay.
Woo, go team. Okay. Spellweaver, quickshot crossbow extraordinaire, Jasail is on the scene.
Please don't ice knife me.
You probably want to duck them.
Ice knife, ice knife, ice knife.
You can get all three of them if I chuck one here. So let's do that.
And rock ducks. Nice. Awesome.
Duck very efficiently.
Jesus.
Oh shit!
Bye.
Son! Holy fuck! What on earth are you throwing there?
It's the most beautifully crafted ice knife you've ever seen.
Oh, boys!
Right, so that is.
Will that hit?
I mean, it did a beautiful job hitting the flaming sphere.
Mm.
It does 2d6 to those guys. So they'll take 7 damage, which was
Oh,
not terrible.
wonderful. Let's just have a little look here. So, as you wind up, start to mumble the delicate verbal components of the spell, build up the frost and ice in your hand. Torlek and Godfrey know that sound, as do you. They have a split second to raise their shields as you let fly with the ice knife. It bursts into a million bright blue shards. There's a ting-ting-ting-ting-ting-ting-ting-ting of Torlek and Godfrey's shields getting peppered with these ice-cold shards. As they lower their shields and Leoquenor brings his arms down from his face in a protective covering. All three bodies lie on the floor, crackling and burning and undermoving.
Triple kill!
Oh,
Nice.
That was
At
100%
that.
worth the penultimate spell slot.
Yeah. No! My children!
Can't hate this guy.
Godfrey, you see that Papa seems to have made up his mind and moves towards a small outcropping of rock at the back of the room, and yet again disappears.
Ah!
That guy.
You are in his lair, my people. Arwen! Everything lies still bar the crackling flames burning the rotting corpses in the room in front of you.
what's it called? Can I do like a check? Can I look around the room without walking into it? Can I see from where I am if there's anything like any more of those rot bugs or whatever they're called?
You
Where
can
am
see
I?
from where you are, without doing any sort of check, that there are several bloated, bloody corpses on the floor. The ground itself is covered in a mixture of rotting bones, bits of clothing, old discarded, rusting weapons. At the back, as the green-brown sludge is rising, it's almost entirely covered the floor to just below the lip of your boot level now. As these sludge pours in, it smells disgusting and fetid. With a shimmer in the back of the room, a small pool ringed with rocks, with strange glowing mushrooms beginning to gently pulse around it before it is completely swallowed by the green muck. The corpses themselves seem to be just gently getting covered up by the green muck now filling the room.
I'm not really selling it, me going in there, to be honest.
So do we think he escaped up this way?
Yes, there looks to have been a small outcropping of rock over here, behind which he has disappeared.
Okay. Alright, then I should probably try tracking.
You do have Hunter's Mark on him.
Oh yeah, you know where he is then.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can follow him. How far can I go then?
If you dash, you could go 12 squares.
Oh, the 30.
Yes.
Yes,
You can dash 60 feet.
And that's 12 squares.
Oh, suppose.
That's about 12 squares there, isn't it? Damn it.
Do you have advantage on wisdom, perception, or survival checks you make to find the target? So this embankment, as I described last time, is 15 feet high.
Whoa.
Oh, that's really high. Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
So we'll take some sort of check to climb up it, as it is being overrun with the green-brown sludge.
Alright. So what kind of check do I need to do?
Where are you going and what are you doing? And then
Oh
I'll
yeah,
tell
sorry.
you.
I was gonna try to get up.
So you can use athletics, or if you can describe to me a way in which you would use acrobatics to climb up the thing, you may use acrobatics. How would you get up acrobatically? If not, if you're just going to climb it, it's going to be athletics. As you get close to the source of the fetid green-brown sludge, the smell gets even worse. You notice small body parts.
I'm gonna go with athletics because, yeah, I can't think of how I could acrobatically get up without and actually make it.
Okay. You'll climb up through the fetid green-brown sludge. As you consider how it is you wish to scale the thing, you swear you see the top of someone's scalp float by with hair still attached.
Yeah, I'm going to do that athletic thing. Do I just need to do a roll of d20, yeah? Or...
D20 plus your athletics, yeah.
Is this
Okay.
green stuff people goop?
Now would you want to have, well, oh, Arwen, you begin to climb up the the embankment, doing your best to hold on through the pouring sludge that comes out. As you reach up with your left hand and you grip onto what you think is rock, something pops underneath your hand with a fleshy, squishy gurgle.
Oh.
As you bring your hand away, your hand is covered in brain matter, and you slip and fall onto your back into the sludge of thick, viscous sludge getting covered all over in the back. You do no damage, but I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. That is enough. Without your modifier, you do not throw up all over yourself. So, Godfrey, if you want to make a medicine check or an intelligence check.
Give it a try. I'm great at medicine checks. So 8. So I rolled a 2.
8?
Yeah.
That is enough for you to remember that this stuff looks a lot like what happens when someone is melted by acidic spells or acid.
Yay.
Spoopy.
And the room is now to where the green border filled to just over the toes of your boots. The smell is becoming overpowering. And before Godfrey moves next, you will have to make a Constitution saving throw, please, to hold the contents of your stomach within your stomach.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Outstanding. That is enough. I should say, before you move, that when Arwen moved to the embankment, she did spy another opening. Slightly lower down, which the fetid green-brown fluid is pouring into. It already seems to have quite a bit of that stuff in already. So, Godfrey, you're upset.
2
You
ways
do
out.
not fail. You realize that you are now walking through humanoid soup.
I've seen CSI. It's alright.
Mhm.
Just need an umbrella. So it's either the goop slide or you know we're in
From what
this
you see,
room.
it's not a goop slide. It looks to be a path that seems to have been submerged already with the goop.
So it's full of it.
Yes.
You'd be under goopness.
You are unsure of the depth.
You know when we're back in this chamber,
Which chamber? This one here.
the one where
The first one where you first met Papa.
yeah,
Beautiful Papa.
wasn't the
Mhm.
openings in the wall in here?
There was, yes, all around the walls.
How were they big enough to get to like squeeze through? I assume he went up them somehow.
Yes, some of the ones that were in the ceiling were quite large. You could squeeze through them. Some of the ones around the walls were much smaller, which is where the smaller ghouls came out of.
So the only ones you could get through are on the ceiling.
He could get through one on the ceiling, yes. They were the ones that you could see that were big enough to fit his form as you saw it.
When he ambushed us, he dropped out the ceiling, didn't he? So
Yeah.
He did indeed drop out of the ceiling.
All right.
And as you look around in this room, you do indeed see more of those porous, not porous, those small holes and cracks in the walls, where it looks to be veins have been drilled out, and small investigatory shafts and cores have been bored.
Okay. So there's any in this room which are wide enough to get through?
Yes, there are a couple on the ceiling, and there is one behind this metal cage here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get my grappling hook and rope out and lob it up in that hole.
This hole here,
Yeah.
that's at floor height.
Ah, I thought it was in the roof.
Behind.
All right. So
I
there's
said there were in
one
the ceiling.
there.
There was one
There's
here
one
behind the cage that is at sort of floor height. It's about 3 feet off the floor.
Well, I
behind
assume the one on
them.
the floor is getting full of goop though.
It is indeed.
Then I'm gonna check it at the one on the ceiling.
Okay. Go for it.
What am I rolling?
So you'll be throwing to the hole here above you.
Yeah.
That's going to be dexterity.
What's that? Not a strength check. I'm chucking it.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, you do strength if you want to do strength.
Okay. 12.
12.
I've got a grappling hook and stuff. So.
So you managed to throw the grappling hook, excuse me, up into the hole. It disappears into the darkness. It seems to snag on something. You give it a
Okay.
tug. Seems to be quite sturdy.
I'll start climbing them.
With your 12, as you do start climbing. There you go. The bloated corpse of a dog appears with your grappling hook embedded into it. Your rope falls to the floor into the green-brown sludge. There is a slash, thick splash as the body of this bloated dog bursts
I hate this
with
place.
tiny crawling white glove grubs.
Okay, well I'm gonna fucking burn it with the flame sphere. It's still
Wonderful.
there.
Fantastic.
I suppose that's all I can do this turn.
Let's have flaming. We've run the flaming sphere into the corpse of the dog, which is half submerged now. They're going to automatically fail their dex saving throws.
Take 10 points of fire damage.
10 points of fire damage. You've got all of the ones above the surface of the sludge that you can see.
Oh god.
Well, I think that's the end of my turn.
Torlek, what would you like to do?
Unless I can have another go with the grappling hook.
No, because you would have to reel it back in, and it is currently covered in human soup.
Well, so are we all.
And a little bit of dog soup.
A little bit of dog soup, yes.
Trying not to look at the dog, I am going to dash to. Can I start? Can I get to here without being under the waterfall of human soup?
No, you cannot. That is where the human soup is coming down. You would have to be there. Yes,
Yeah.
there.
Can I get to that?
Yeah.
Okay. And as I run there, I'm going to stick my mace back in my belt, stick my shield back on my back, and when I get to the wall, I'm just going to put my back against the wall and lace my fingers in front of me as like a step up, and just say, "Come on!"
For the sludge-covered Arwen, or for everyone else?
For
in the group?
everyone. Just going to shout, "Come on!" So I can help them up one by one if they run to me. They can step on my hands and on my shoulder and get up.
Good
Wonderful. Okay. So Leoquino, it is you to go.
Okay. Well, I guess I better try this then. Try and deftly
With the test pilot.
yeah. I'm gonna go for it. Like bit of a. I guess it's athletics in that case. I could
Yes,
do it
it is.
acrobat. Well, you say I could do it acrobatically. Let's do it acrobatically then.
You can do it acrobatically. Yes, you can.
As you know, it's kind of a one sort of run, jump onto his the outstretched hand there, and then up. So
Ooh.
yeah,
What's
try
going on
that.
Something has been revealed.
there? Go for it. What we got?
So let's try that nice acrobatic flick up there then, shall we? 10.
10.
Is Torlek giving people advantage from
You're
the
going to
or
be,
what?
yes. Torlek is going to be assisting, so you will have advantage for this.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my word. Right, so you get
Bro.
top. You get to the top. Yes, you get to the top, but it is very ungainly, and you get thoroughly covered in a thick brown sludge. As you manage to scramble up, you are confronted with half a melted orc face, missing the eye. The skin is shriveled up back over the teeth and mouth, and the nose seems to have been burned away.
Nice.
Tight, nice, tight.
Yeah, lovely.
Can you see into the hole where he escaped through?
Is there any?
You can indeed see a hole.
If you do the lever, does that stop the group coming in?
I
The
was
lever
thinking that.
opened
I
the
think-
cages.
The lever was just for the cages,
Oh.
wasn't it? And
Yeah, he smashed the
I wasn't
grate,
sure
I
if
think.
both those things happened at the same time.
Yeah, I thought it was both the lever, to be fair.
I'll throw the lever anyway.
I
Just, you know,
suppose it's not going to hurt anything.
Well, we've said it now.
famous last words. But yeah.
Well, if
Lever
one
to
of
be
us is in the
thrown.
cages, it could be bad.
Minor action lever to run.
So the cage doors swing shut. From up the where the rushing green sludge is coming from, you hear a metallic, and then there's a, and the green sludge slows to a trickle.
Nice.
Ooh!
Yeah!
So yes, you do see the tunnel. It is full of this green soupy sludge. So you see from where you are that. It's full of the green soupy sludge and the beginnings of a mine track in there.
Nice.
Mine truck. Cool. I've done my movement, man. That's me. Like I'm out.
Okay.
I
Jesse.
can also help people though. Like if anyone wants a hand up, you know, anyone wants pulling up.
Oh, actually, Torlek and Leo, Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, 18.
You managed to keep your breakfast.
15.
Leo manages to keep his breakfast also.
Yeah. Breakfast is good.
So I'm gonna dash over to you guys. Can get here.
Ooh, do you step in this square, just say?
Oh no, which one? I did not step in this one.
You
Or
did
in
not.
this one.
And did you definitely sidestep where you can see the corpse that is almost completely submerged?
I mean, that was the plan because I don't want no rock grubs in my life, thanks.
Well, that's good. That's a good plan.
I was just checking by that square, you didn't mean another square, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, looks to be a loose pile of rock. The rock in the center is quite large. It's about 5 feet by 5 feet. Large enough and wide enough for you to stand on to get your feet out of the goop if you wish. It's only about a foot above the goop though.
Well, if I dash, I can get over here, and can I try to get up the wall?
Yeah, we'll say with Torlek giving you the boost and Leoquinor giving you the hand at the top. I'll count that as movement if you perform for me the requisite athletics check.
Oh no.
That's wonderful, yeah. So the Torlek gives you the boost up. You spring towards Leo's outstretched hand. He grasps it firmly and swings you onto the ledge. Absolutely fine. And a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
Wow, another
Ah,
two.
wonderful, yeah.
Oh,
No stranger to blood and guts and dissolved humanoids, Jessil is not bothered by the smell or the viscous matter all around her at all.
Also, I have really been sick today.
questionable
So...
backstory there.
Also, you have no lunch to throw.
Okay then. The soup-covered Arwen is next. Your hair is matted and greasy. Your pants and clothes are saturated, and your quiver is full with what you think is dissolved.
Okay.
Oh.
Lovely. No, well, I might try to get up there.
You can use a boost off Torlek and then Leo's outstretched hand to have advantage in the DC's.
Yeah,
Very achievable. Yeah.
yeah. Do I have to do any?
Still have to roll your athletics, won't you?
Oh, athletics.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Still got to roll your athletics. You can have advantage as this is what you're doing with your entire turn. You're not dashing or anything through the sludge.
No, my is 10.
Try that again.
Advantage, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's better. Yes, you make it this time with a 15. Torlek gives you the boost you need. You grasp Leo's outstretched hand. Leo, Arwen's hand is slimy and covered in a grey-green matter as you pull her onto the ledge.
Lush.
Yes. Okay. So.
Alright, got hello, yeah.
Leo and Arwen. You hear scratching and a scrabbling coming from down the dark tunnel.
That's not good.
It seems to still be about 70 feet away from where you are.
Right. Yes. Yes, away.
But there's definitely something in there, moving at some speed. Okay. Godfrey, you're up next.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to here and get the boost off Torlek. Trying to get at the top of this.
No problem. Get up, son, get up.
14.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Even with your heavily armored form, Torlek, you brace for Godfrey as he sloshes through the soup. You lift him up. Your hands are now completely covered in greasy detritus. As you look down, you swear you can see a tooth in amongst the grime on your hand.
When I get to the top, I'm gonna reach back to help pull Torlek up. So.
As I'm just about to say, Leocono managed to grab you by the front of your chest plate, draws you onto the ledge. Your chest plate now is smeared with a sort of grey-green, fleshy, pulpy matter as you turn to reach down for Torlek.
Yes, please.
Do I make a strength check to pull him up? Or is he making one? Or what?
Strength check with advantage, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Same again, 14.
14. That's going to be enough because your friends are around you. They will assist. You both manage to get up onto the ledge.
Oh, hey.
So it'll be Torlek now.
Where on the ledge am I?
I'll move that there.
Okay,
Where-
yeah.
You can
I
be
was
there.
moved
Yeah.
that after I get
See
there.
now the entrance to what looks to be some sort of mining tunnel
I mean, if we
concealed behind an outcrop of rock.
wait for it to be my turn again, I can send the flaming sphere up the tunnel first, so anything coming will have to run into it. Or we could just go and have a drag behind with up to you guys.
So it slopes
Slide
downwards.
down. Slide down it. Cross your arms. Be fine.
There's a beginning of a gradient. It's not a flume.
Alright. Well, I am going to move to this corner and peer around it.
Wonderful. Do you have a source of light with you?
I
Can't remember what you had.
I do not, but upon seeing that it's very dark, I will use a second charge of Sender's Heart to create some floating, glowing spores that follow me around and shed light for me.
And that is... what sort of radius is that? Is that bright in 20 and dim another 20?
Bright in 10, dim in 30, but it's the only light source that I have. I mean, I have candles, but I'm not lighting a candle down here. Just get blown out.
There we go.
Mm.
You can see that. There is a downward slope. It seems to move maybe 20, 25 feet. The gradient you would judge by between. Actually, no, between where you are and where you can see it goes about 10 to 15 feet down. Gradient. There's some detritus on the track, some bits of discarded beams, and I can't remember what they're fucking called. The bits that you put across, the wooden planks that you put across rails down.
Railway sleepers, yeah.
Beams and sleepers discarded, and the remains of what seems to be some sort of lantern on the just in the murky blackness just outside your sight. Make note of that. And you can now hear the loud scratching and scrabbling of claws on rock and proceeding towards you at a fair pace.
It's coming toward. Right, okay. In that case, I'm going
Get out
to.
the tunnel and I'll put the flaming sphere in there and we'll have to run through.
I was gonna say, I'm going to not be there.
I'm going to leave.
I'm going to use the
Make like a
rest
tree,
of
yeah.
my movement to go to there, out of the way, and I would like to ready a action which will be to lob a Molotov at whatever comes around the corner, and the trigger is when it comes around the corner, please.
Wonderful.
You might want to move one back because I can only get the
I-
sphere above here.
I can't get any further than that.
Ah. Okay.
So you're readying a Molotov.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth
Okay.
noting that I am very unhealthy right now. I'm literally leaning against the wall to stay upright at this point.
Okay, that's cool. Leoquino!
So, not want to block tunnel and that. I'm gonna go over here and just have a look at this guy.
Ooh,
He
right.
looks quite.
Investigation check, please.
I will investigate.
I'm going to assume that Godfrey will do this.
I don't know. Can I keep moving it when it's? I can only move it on a bonus action.
18.
I think you would have done that because Leo wouldn't have gone near it otherwise. 18. Beneath you, the black-robed figure,
Yeah, he looks like
human male with dark hair, a scraggy salt and pepper beard. He seems to be dressed very similarly to a priest or some sort of holy man. Though his robes are torn and ripped asunder, his guts and innards spilled out across the fetid ground beneath you. You do find, sticking out of his breast pocket, a strangely bound tome. Ooh. It's a rather thick book.
Cool.
Do you retrieve the tome?
Yes.
As your fingers touch
Here we fucking go.
Here we fucking go.
on this ancient-looking book, you get the very strange sensation that you're not touching leather, you're touching skin.
Ooh.
Does anyone make books out of leather in this country?
Not that we found.
Let
You've only gone to bad people's places and got a book from bad.
Maybe it's just a totally normal thing, and we're just like, oh, okay.
Well, normally it's made from pigskin and cow leather, but you just literally go, ooh, right, we're in this horrible man's house that likes playing with corpses. Oh, this shit's made out of horrible stuff. What a surprise.
Do we think that this might be that guy?
That's what I was thinking. Actually.
You do not recognize the sort of face of this man, nor would you, as you've never met the Blood Magus. So you posit that could be a decent
Could be a guess.
to come
Could
to.
be a-
Though if you want to make an intelligence check for me.
Uh-huh. Just, 13.
13. No stranger to the rough and tumble life of a travelling bard. You've seen your fair share of corpses. This one looks to be older than when you had your confrontation in Braskov.
Okay. Alright. I'll, I don't want to
You
open that.
read the book, Leoquino. Do you
Do I?
open the book and read the stuff inside it?
Do I? Fuck, mate. That's another tool for another day, that, mate. Not that guy.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
Fair enough.
Just put that in the inside pocket, just chill.
Wonderful. It feels warm.
Oh,
Right?
Right. Okay. Giselle. Spellcaster extraordinaire. You can now also hear the coming from the tunnel and a loud scratching of claws on stone.
Oh, good. Right, I've still got one Molotov left, so I'm gonna stick myself here and ready it to throw when they come around this corner.
Ooh, so you can. Are you looking down the shaft?
Down the shaft.
The tunnel.
Yes.
Ah. Now then, I believe you can see it a little bit more than that. Yes, you are able to see a little bit more than that, aren't you? How far can you see? Is it 60 feet?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. So,
That does not sound like what I'm about to see is going to make me happy.
no, it'll make me very happy though.
I mean, how often does staring down the shaft really make it happy?
True, true.
Yeah. So you can see that the shaft does indeed plummet down, possibly to 25, maybe 30 feet below where you're standing now. There is a small alcove on the right, over which a long, gone-out torch holds silent sentry over a pile of mining debris. But more concerning than all of that are the two hugely bloated forms of these fat, grey-green looking ghouls that are like crawling and clawing their way up the passageway towards you. Much bigger and more bloated than you've seen yet. Their bodies wobble and jiggle as if filled with a viscous jelly-like substance. And they are making their way up the tunnel towards you.
How exciting. Okay. They're not quite in bath bomb range yet, are they?
Not quite. Unless you throw it very good, it's not a little out of range. You can throw with a disadvantage.
Can I ready it until they get sort of here?
Yes, but you might be in the way of a Torlek. But no, because you're gonna throw it when they get closer, so that's fine.
if Jess is there when my trigger condition's met, I'm obviously not throwing it because I don't want to hit her.
That is good.
Much
Okay,
obliged.
yes, you can wait until they get to here where the detritus is,
Yeah.
or here where past the detritus. Where would you like to hurl your fire?
Yeah, this bit where all the potentially
Detroit.
horrible stuff is.
Ah, good thinking. Wonderful. So do you relay what you see to the group?
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of glance back over my shoulder and be like, guys, there's two of them, and they're massive.
Wonderful. Armed with that information, Arwen, what do you do? Big fat ghouls.
So they're right down there, aren't they? Ah.
They're quite the way down the shaft. You can get to here, you can stand there, and she can stand there, this is fine.
Well, alright. I guess I'll shoot at them.
Wonderful. Shoot them. Get them shot.
Alright. Go for
The big fat one at the front.
the 19.
What I will say is that the line of sight to the one behind is blocked by the one in front. They are that bulbous and large. 19.
Yeah.
That is a hit.
And oh shit, 4.
4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, that is good. So you let fly with your arrow. You bring it forward as it comes out of your quiver. It's covered in goo and goop. You swear there's an eyeball on the end of this arrow, but you pull back regardless anyway and let fire. It sails down the shaft in a beautiful arc and strikes with a into the side of this wobbling, jellified mass of a ghoul. There's a you see a very dark green viscous liquid start to flow out of the arrow wound. And you take a second and you swear the air around the wound is glimmering, wavering, wobbling, as if on a hot day.
Oh shit.
Look.
The air is simmering.
Yeah.
Like a heat haze.
As if, yeah, almost like a heat haze, as if you're looking at the horizon on a hot day. The air seems to shimmer.
They might be flammable. I guess I'll do a quick shot then.
Oh, wonderful. There's another arrow from your quiver. So that's going to be +1, so that's a 9. That sails down the shaft, but then sort of clatters harmlessly off the wall just before the huge bulbous form is moving.
Okay.
There's a split second and you hear a small snap as the large form crushes your arrow beneath it. You're done?
Yeah.
Ah, the bloated ghouls are next. They drag themselves up. 20, 25, they're both there now. Drag themselves up the shaft towards you, Jessil and Arwen. Your trigger conditions have been met. Do you wish to throw?
Yes, please.
Hurl away. Make a ranged attack.
It's Dex.
I'm going to give you proficiency because you guys have been chucking these things around quite a bit now.
Is it dexterity to throw one of these guys?
Dex plus proficiency because you've thrown a few of them.
Wunderbar, thank you. A 15.
That is a resounding hit.
Awesome. Well, the 2d6 fire.
2d6.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you do 2 damage to the ghoul,
Yeah.
the bloated ghoul. Then I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw. Ooh, Jessil, Arwen, and Torlek.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Cool. Big style.
Explodes.
Sorry, everyone. Although not as sorry as I am that I rolled a 6.
Oh well. That's the end of the campaign. Just me and Lunark and all. Go.
Oh, nat 20!
Yay!
Boom!
Although it's -1, but still.
Dexterity saving throw.
Doesn't Arwen have proficiency in dexterity saving throws because she's a rangy lady?
I would think so. Yeah, strength and dex. So add +2. So
it's 13 rather than 11. Yeah.
Wonderful. So what was Sharon's dexterity saving throw? Was it Arwen?
13 in the end.
13. Oh, good lord. So, Torlek, you will be taking half damage as you manage to duck out of the way of the backdraft blast of ignited gas spews forth from the bloated ghoul. Jess and Arwen will be taking the full force of the fire damage So Torlek, you'll be taking 9 points of fire damage. Jessiel and Arwen will be taking 18 points of fire damage as the bloated ghoul explodes and the backdraft of fire rushes towards you.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
You smell your own hair burning, your skin feels hot and begins to blister. There is a second explosion.
Oh, Christ.
The bloated ghoul behind.
Torlek, I really hope you're out of the way just by this one.
Well,
One square further.
Well, the first ghoul exploding took me to -8.
The second explosion
We
happens
don't track it.
continuously. You notice, Jess and Arwen, that this one travels down the shaft and
thank
into
fuck.
the right-hand turn, traveling the other way, sucking up all of the air as it goes. There is a split second as your ears stop ringing for Godfrey and Lochner. A slight bit of tinnitus before Jess, Arwen, and Torlek begin to feel a rumbling in the walls and the ceilings of the shaft.
I'm not quick enough to get out of the way of the first explosion, and I'm unconscious, just knocked unconscious by the force of it. Very nearly killed outright, actually.
Here we go. So, I rolled for how far up the shaft the ceiling would cave in, and it is there. So, Arwen and Jess, you see rocks begin to fall from the ceiling. The caving begins. You can see that the ceiling towards you is getting cracked and rocks are beginning to fall. And we're going to go out of initiative order, and I'm going to take 2 more dexterity saving throws off you to avoid being crushed by the cave-in. Okay, Jess, you react first, manage to get out of the way. You dive towards the tunnel exit.
Try and drag Arwen with me.
Okay. I will say with an 18, you can give Arwen advantage by grabbing a hold of her hood and pulling. We'll do this as the entire shaft begins to fill with rocks and dust and the fetid smell of methane.
Well, while you're waiting for that, I will use my healing potion on Torlek. Because I've got no spells.
Wonderful to sort Torlek out. You can see Torlek's beautiful brown beard and hair have been singed at the front. His eyebrows and eyelashes are singed to within an inch of their life. He's still a handsome man, but he could do with a haircut now.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. How much do you heal me for?
7 points.
Oh, yes.
Oh, by the way, who picked up the diamond-tipped pickaxe that Sindri had? Someone mentioned that they wanted that in the group.
Torlek said he wanted it. I'm not sure he actually picked it up though.
Yeah, I said dibs on it as a joke. I didn't actually pick it up.
All right, okay.
I remember. I think someone took it off him. Oh no, did he not still have it?
He still has it, I think.
He dropped
Yeah, I
it
think
to
it's
the floor.
still-
Oh, he dropped it, so it's probably still in the cave.
It was still there, so no one picked it up.
I don't think so.
Okay, no problem.
A little
like-
bit preoccupied.
We're not mining any cave-ins anytime soon, boys and girls.
We need a dexterity saving throw from you. Jess rolled so high that you're going to be making this with advantage because she's reaching out and grabbing hold of your hood to pull you from the collapsing debris of the tunnel. Not quite enough to save, so you do take 18 points of fire damage,
I'm dead then.
which takes you to 0. So Jess, you've rolled an 18 to dive out of there. Let's have a strength check off you to pull the unconscious Arwen out.
No! Fuck.
Oh dear.
I mean, I went and healed Torlek before we realized this was happening. Could I have had like a reaction to try and
I
grab
have no
onto them and
nerves.
pull them out? Because I was pretty close.
I will say, because I am a nice DM and we're having fun, The ladies will get to here. Godfrey will have a reaction to pull them free, but you are both going to take half damage from the falling rocks.
Okay.
So, if Godfrey manages to get you free, you will take half damage from the falling rocks. If Godfrey does not manage to get you free, because you natural one it, Jess, you both will be crushed underneath the falling rocks.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Oh,
I'm
yes!
gonna set the DC at 15 for this because they are slight, and you are strong.
Well, I rolled a 19 plus 4.
You managed to just pull them free from the falling rocks, though Jess and Arwen, your legs are crushed by the tail end of two huge boulders that fall from the roof. And with a cloud and a clap of dust, you are free. Though Arwen, you failed 2 death saving throws now.
Okay. So, now
Jess.
Arwen looks worse than Torlek, I assume.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Arwen's unconscious. Jess, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage from the rocks as they crush your lower parts.
I'm
you're
I'm
also
down.
unconscious.
yeah.
Fuck
So
it out.
Literally the only
ground
damage I've taken in this cave
settled.
I've done entirely to myself.
That's
So,
how I like
Next
it.
time an ice knife goes a bit wonky, just remember it could be worse. That's all I'm saying.
You can hear more rumbling and crashing as more rocks fall to the floor, blocking, you would assume, the entirety of that shaft.
Okay.
You now have an unconscious Jess and a very bludgeoned and battered Arwen.
Well, I had to do that reaction before I give the healing potion to Torlek, so if
Yes.
Arwen looks like she's about to die, I'll give it to her
Yeah.
instead. She gets
Torlek
the
is
7,
also unconscious.
and I'll have to try and just stabilize Torlek.
Right. So, before that happens, Torlek, you went down first, so let's
Yes.
have a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
Oh god. 18.
18. Wonderful. Okay. That. So, there we go. I say you get out of that unscathed from the majority of the fire damage, though
There we go. There's gonna be nothing left of you.
your exposed skin is now covered in severe blisters. You
Okay.
have disadvantage on dexterity checks. Now the blisters themselves will heal if you receive magical healing or treatment in an area of hallowed ground. Alternatively, outside of that, someone can make a medicine check of DC 15 once every 24 hours to continue to treat the blisters, and you will not suffer the disadvantage on dexterity checks.
Okay, so they can be mitigated but not cured until hallowed ground, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can be magical healing will get them most of the way there. You will still have open sores and small blisters on your face and any other exposed skin. Right. Arwen, please make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that'll be. Yeah, and I'm just going back to the 12.
12. As you pull Arwen free, you notice that Arwen's exposed skin is covered in second-degree burns.
Ouch.
So Arwen, you have disadvantage on strength, dexterity, and constitution checks. To heal your second-degree burns, you will need magic such as the Regenerate spell while on hallowed ground. They can be mitigated if someone tends to you once every 24 hours. If you do not receive magical healing while in hallowed ground, the second-degree burns will heal on their own within 4 weeks. Now, because you have second-degree burns, if you suffer any more fire damage, you will receive third-degree burns. Okay.
Okay.
What you need is some ointment.
So can I have used the healing potion on Arwen,
Yes.
and I'll try and stabilize Torlek.
Okay, so Arwen.
Yep.
You will need tended to every 24 hours.
Medicine checks 14 to stabilize Torlek.
14. You managed to stabilize Torlek, as he only suffered severe blisters. The majority of his damage was burns to the face and then hitting his head on the way down. So you managed to stabilize him.
Jasael also unconscious.
Jasael is also unconscious, and
Okay,
Jasael.
so I'll try and stabilize her as well.
So currently Torlek and Arwen need tended to every 24 hours to avoid infection.
Oh god.
Am I conscious now or just
No,
stable?
Just
No, you are still
stable.
unconscious.
So can I try and stabilize Jasael as well?
Yes, you can. We're going to be
Ooh,
out of.
natural 20.
You managed to stabilize Jasael so well that she wakes up. And as Constitution save of you, please, Jasael.
Yep.
Does she get like advantage on the save because I'm such a good doctor?
No, what happens is, it goes from a heavy injury to a light injury.
Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Does that mean I still have legs?
I feel like I would have noticed that as part of the medicine check if you'd left them in the shaft.
I mean, my decision making over the last few minutes hasn't been great, so.
Right, so you have broken ribs.
Ooh.
So whenever you attempt an action in combat, you must first make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, you lose your action and can't use reactions until the start of your next turn. You also need magical healing, such as was mentioned before. Yes, magical healing on hallowed ground, that's it. To completely cure it. Or if you spend some time on hallowed ground, it will heal itself within 10 days. If you do nothing but rest.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone's stabilized. But only Jasael and Linnock and all us awake.
Yes, you, Jasael, and the Aquanor are awake. So Jasael, you wake with a huge pounding, jarring, sharp pain in your right side. You know from touching their feeling you have broken some ribs.
Oh wait, no. Arwen's awake because I gave her the potion, so she got 7 hit points back. So only Torlek's unconscious still.
Arwen's awake as well. Your face and exposed skin, it feels like it is on fire. It's tight and painful to make any sort of facial expressions.
Okay, I think this unit is now officially combat ineffective. It's time to leave. I'm gonna pick up Torlek.
Guess I'll pick up Arwen.
You
Right, she's awake,
Arwen,
but she probably
Arwen
needs some
can-
help.
Yeah, I think she needs help.
Yeah.
You can pick her up.
How do you propose to get your injured parties down the 15-foot drop?
Okay, I'll
Very
go
carefully.
down first, and I'll have Leo try and everyone's awake now. Try and pass them down, pass Torlek down.
So is Leo going to lower down the injured parties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leo, you're going to need a strength check with advantage, as Godfrey will be there to help.
Cool. Well, there's no.
So it'll be advantage for Jess and Arwen as they are awake.
So the first one is 13.
That is enough to lower the slight form of Jasail down to Godfrey.
Second is 13 and a 1. So I'll take the 13 on that one, please.
13, that is enough to lower Arwen down, the slight form of Arwen down to Godfrey.
It's Torlek a bit heavier.
Torlek is in full armor, so this will be a straight strength roll.
16.
Nice.
And
15
8.
is enough between you and Godfrey to lower the unconscious form of Torlek down into Godfrey's arms.
Nice. And then I guess I'll get myself down.
You can see that the ground below you, the sludge has begun to drain into the lower passage to the south of Godfrey and Jasail. It's begun to reveal the corpses again, so you can now be sure of your footing on your way.
Cool. Shall I athletics this?
Yes.
Backflip for 12.
Backflip for 12.
Okay.
Oh, you land, there's a loud crunch underneath your foot, and you fall arse first into the goop on the floor. As you bring your foot up out of the goop, you can see that there is 3/4 of a humanoid skull attached to your boot.
Lovely.
You are
Nice.
unharmed, but covered in the viscous human soup. Humanoid soup.
Cool.
So,
Okay. Let's get out of
Arwen
here.
and Jess are able to walk. Torlek will need to be carried.
Well, I'll keep carrying him.
So, are you going to carry him by yourself?
Yeah. It looks like most of the people don't seem to be in fit state to help carry him.
That's it. Okay, so we will just have one strength saving throw from one strength check from you, please, Godfrey.
It's a 9.
That's a 9. You are going to need help, otherwise you will be half dragging Torlek through the sludge.
Well, Lelock will have to help.
I will. I'll give you a hand. Good.
Wonderful.
Since
Between
he's
the two of you,
the only one not burnt to shit.
between the two of you, you are able to move the unconscious form of Torlek. The going is slow, as Arwen walks like a woman that has spent too much time outside in Ibiza on the sunbed after too many margaritas, and is a bright pink lobster. Very stiff, trying your best not to move the exposed bits of skin that have been burnt to a crisp. Jess, you're going as slow as you have one arm clasped around your ribs, taking short, shallow breaths so as not to extend your lungs too much and cause the stabbing pain. You manage to make your way over the now blackened, charred bodies of the half-changed that blocked the entrance to this room. You creep slowly in the darkness past the broken copper spike on which Torlek was impaled scant moments before. On entering the large room in which you first met Papa, your going slows to that of a creep, ensuring that you do not step anywhere near the remaining bloated corpses that litter the floor in this room. As you turn towards the corridor that will lead you to the exit, you see a familiar form on the floor. The pale halfling face, frozen in a rictus scream of agony and terror, eyes staring sightlessly towards the ceiling. The stomach and loins have burst, and the internal organs of Sindri lie squelched and melched, pouring out of his body. You can see dozens of tiny white grubs moving within him. You continue past.
I don't think we're in any shape to actually try and deal with it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to encourage everyone to just not look and move past.
Yeah. So I'm going to need a dexterity save from a dexterity check, straight from either Leoquinor or Godfrey, whoever is going first with Torlek, as you are having to carry him between the two of your shoulders.
God, don't drop me on him.
Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Probably the biggest step.
Yes.
12.
12. That is enough to step around the small form of Sindri. You manage to step past and jostle Torlek just enough so his legs don't trail in Sindri's entrails, which are swarming with white grubs. And Godfrey, you follow Leoquinor's steps, using your superior strength to lift the latter half of Torlek's body over the remains of Sindri. You get past and make your way up the corridor to the corner where the two eviscerated corpses of two poor miners, long dead, lie on the corner. As you turn, there is a sigh of relief as the pale glimmer of early dusk greets you. As a light wind graces your skin and a slight exhale to be out of that dark, dank, fetid pit of despair. So now back out in the open, with Torlek slung between your shoulders like a mate that's had too many to drink one night and you just want to get to the taxi. So you're outside the yawning maw of the cave, the ground littered with recent bodies of humanoids and horses and other unfortunate beasts that have had the misery of finding their way to this place. What is your plan?
Well, we can't stay here.
Yeah.
We'll follow the path that we took. Did they kind of cleared it?
How far away is it to that, like, ghoul ward thing?
2 hours when you were walking normally.
That's a long way.
Godfrey, at this pace, you reckon that's going to take you 4 to get there.
And it'll be full night by then.
It will be full night. Jess, you know that the weather will be fair, but windy. There will be no mist or rain this night.
Okay.
You believe the clouds are going to dissipate, and it will be a cool but dry evening and night. But for now, there is a light rain, which you are thankful for, as you feel as it touches your skin that it cleanses the grime and misery of that hole. So you make your way to the ghoul ward.
It's a long way.
Yeah, it's our only real choice, isn't it? I mean, we could
I guess.
heal up, but
I've got no
Okay.
spells left, and would have to wait here an hour.
yeah.
Seeing as there are 4 of you that are conscious, will each of you roll a d12 for me, please?
4.
3.
7.
And Adam?
7.
7?
Yeah.
7. So, you begin to make your way back towards the broken, abandoned mine tracks, which will lead you back down to the relative safety of your camp from the previous night. Your first hour of travel goes by unmolested, surrounded only by the sounds of the light rain splattering against the dead, dying, decaying branches of the stranglethorns. Torlek's eyes begin to flicker open. You regain consciousness.
I just sort of groan a little bit. Like, like what happened? No memory at all after peering down that tunnel. I've just got a blank. Did we get him? Where's Papa?
We still
You
at
said
the
he
top
was
of that
still continuing
doing
to
his
soldier
experiment.
forward while having this conversation.
We had to leave. He got away.
At that, I'm sort of gonna like do a double take, like why are we walking away, sort of thing, and
Because the 3 of you nearly died.
yeah, and sort of turn to look back, even though I can't see the cave entrance, and ask what about Sindri's body? What about
Yeah, leave
the
it.
pick that he found? What about all the other corpses in there? What about the other tunnel?
None of them are worth your lives. Not to me. They'll be there to collect another time, but that's not today.
Yeah.
At this point, Jess has opened her mouth a couple of times as if to say something and then just looked back at the ground.
I think Aaron has been doors to open it somehow.
Your second hour of travel was slightly better with Torlek being now conscious. Unmolested yet again, though you do hear distant cries of feral ghouls, though they seem to be some distance away, have no concern of yours right now. All that concerns you, party Disheartened 5, is putting one foot in front of the other and getting out of the Stranglethorns. As the third hour passes, the rain begins to ease. The thick fog that was choking the woods when you entered the cave has now dissipated. You begin to see stars in the darkening sky above you. The silvery moon begins to rise. There's a savage beauty to the silvery branches of the stranglethorns, catching the moon and starlight on a quiet, clear night. You recognize your surroundings now. You're on the old mine track, ground that you've travelled and fought on before. There's a comfort in that familiarity. And you reach the ghoul marker a scant 20 minutes later.
Well, I suppose I'll start tending everyone's wounds.
Do you go back to your initial campsite? The briar bushes that you pulled around to help give you some defense are still there.
Yeah, I think that's for the best.
The remnants of your cold camp are still evident. They have been untouched and unmoved. Are you planning on having a long rest here, or are you just stopping briefly to tend wounds?
I think we need to have a long rest.
I agree.
It's probably for the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So who will be taking watch?
Guess I'll take watch. As, the rest of the wounds need looking after.
Wonderful.
Do I need to do 3 medicine checks then? Who's like the most fucked up? Probably Torlek. He's got
Torlek.
2 wounds, hasn't he? I guess I'll try him first.
Yes, Torlek is pretty battered up.
Not ideal.
Oh,
It's just above 10 though, so 11.
11. You manage to work some relief into Torlek's blistered skin, though tending to his pierced stomach seems slightly outside your wheelhouse for the surroundings that you are in at the moment.
Yeah, not exactly a field hospital.
well, it's DC 15 for my blisters, and I have to make a con save after the rest for my stomach. And I've got a festering wound.
Oh god, I forgot we had festering wounds.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
Okay, who is the next most fucked up?
Probably Owen.
Yes, I'm giving him a slightly lower DC for his blisters because he stabilized you earlier on.
I think
And I think
Arwen probably looks more damage because she.
Arwen looks
Which one
pretty
he's
bad.
burned?
You rolled a 13, so instead of being able to do another check on Torlek in 24 hours, you'll have to do another medicine check on him in 8.
Okay, so Arwen gets a 19.
Okay, Arwen gets an 18 for second degree burns. Okay, so you again managed to work some modicum of relief, finding in your pack some herbs and ointments that you can sort of muddle together into a cooling sort of relief ointment in which you place on Torlek's blisters and Arwen's burns. Arwen, it moisturizes and cools your skin to the point where you feel like you can talk, but it's itchy as all hell.
Ah.
I will make sure to say don't scratch it. And finally, the broken ribs. Oh, same again, 19.
19 for the broken ribs. Okay. Okay, so you
Plus
managed
6
to
medicine check.
bind up Jess's broken ribs with some bandages, which you have inside your pack. It doesn't seem to do much for the pain initially, though it does let you breathe a little easier, and you are able to move at full speed now. But you still have to do your Constitution saving throw every time you're in combat, so you can move at full movement.
Okay.
Wonderful. This is wonderful. These are working lovely. All right, so you guys have got camp. Leo is going to take first watch.
Charles.
Who will be taking second watch?
Yes, suppose. As tired as it
Are you
must be
doing?
to carry these logs back 4 hours, I think that's probably
That's it.
still more tiring to be bird.
Would you like to do 2 4-hour stints, or would you like to do 4 2-hour stints?
Do 4 hours since sounds alright.
Can you gain
I'm
long rest
happy to-
benefits if you do that?
Yes, you'll be resting long enough to gain a long rest.
Alright.
Everyone will benefit from sleep. I just need 8 hours of watch for a long rest.
Okay.
Okay, so Leo, let's have a perception check of you, please.
Perception
Back to where we are.
is nat 20, mate, +3.
Nat 20 for your first 4 hours. This watch goes by uneventfully.
Woo!
You rise from where it is you were sat, walk over to Godfrey, wake him gently. Godfrey, it is your turn.
Okay. Perception.
So, perception, please, Godfrey.
Oh, pretty good at that. 17.
Wonderful. So with a 17, two hours into your watch, just when your eyes are getting heavy, silence all around you. It is indeed a clear night. The stars and moon are out in full force above you. If you look straight up, it's almost as if you're somewhere else entirely. Every time you look back down, you're greeted with the thorns and briars of the stranglethorns. All of a sudden, you notice. Roll a d10 for me, please.
6.
On Torlek's skin around his face,
Oh no.
you notice thick black veins.
Okay.
Investigate.
Can I try and do a medicine check on that?
You can, yes. Do a medicine check for me, please.
Another one? Wearing this dice out?
Yeah.
17.
17. As you investigate the thick black veins on Torlek's face, you begin to follow them down, looking beneath armor and bits of clothing. Finally, finishing on Torlek's festering wound, which is now pulsing with thick, dark red, black blood. And this wound looks very poisoned.
Shit.
Okay.
Godfrey, roll a d12 for me, please. D10.
D10.
D10, yeah.
5 this time.
5. As you look at Torlek's festering wound, yours begins to burn. All of a sudden, without warning, your nose begins to bleed. And you feel a tickling as if you're crying from your eyes.
Yeah, but it's not water.
Then there is a trickling, tickling feeling from your ears. As you open your mouth to question what's happening, a spurt of blood releases from your gums. And then all of a sudden your bowels open and your pants are stained red.
Good times.
You have violently released blood from all of your openings. You've taken 11 points of necrotic damage.
Just
Fucking hell.
That's good. So, with your medicine check that you made on Torlek before, it was high enough for you to recognize that the two of you have contracted a disease through your festering wounds. You both contracted infected heart disease. Spread by contact with undead. You know that this is spread if a creature's blood comes into contact with undead flesh or necrotic magic. You want to make a history check to see if you know what the rest of this disease entails?
traditionally been very bad at these. Ooh. I get to remember what's killing us. That's good.
Wonderful.
History.
So,
History. 18.
18. So I'm going to read this out. There's a bit of gaming involved, but for the first 2d20 hours, nothing happens as the disease begins to spread into the victim's heart. After that, they begin to feel ill. Some random symptoms include minor vomiting, sweat, coughing blood, and a strange blood color. This continues for the rest of the disease. Every 4d20 hours, the heart releases a pulse of necrotic energy through the bloodstream. The infected gains a level of exhaustion, which you both now have, which cannot be removed until the disease ends.
Right.
Also, so you both suffered some minor effects. You
I
know
would say that this
that
is more than a minor effect.
if you read the major effects, mate, you'd be happy you just pissed blood and shit blood. So, roll for me 4d20, a d4, sorry, every d4, d20. So roll me a d20 plus a d4
Okay.
for you, and Torlek roll a d20 plus a d4 for you.
11.
So, that is very fortuitous. It makes it easy to keep track of.
We rolled exactly the same thing. I rolled a 7 and a 4 as well.
Wonderful. So, Godfrey, you know that you and Torlek have between 10 and 11 hours before the next pulse of necrotic disease, on which you will take a minor effect and a major effect.
Awesome.
You know that the treatment, sorry, every time you take a necrotic pulse, after the first one, it's a DC 15 con save. If you succeed, you only get a minor effect. If you fail, you get a minor and a major. Okay. So you can also make a check on this anytime any healing magic is used on you. And you can have up to 3 successes in the wilderness, which will allow you to negate all major effects, or 1 success on hallowed ground with healing from a trained healer, which will cure the disease.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I take it we're still in the middle of the long rest, so I haven't got spells and stuff now.
Yes. You have 2 hours left on your watch. I just wanted to let you know it was right in the middle in case you fell prone and had a seizure that would last 1d8 minutes.
Nope.
Which
not
is
today.
another one of the minor symptoms. So you now realize that you and Torlek are both diseased.
Well,
with
while everyone's asleep, I'm
infected
gonna
heart.
take me water skin and try and wash some of the fucking blood off.
Yes, you
And
can
then
do
I'm just
so.
sit staring into the darkness, thinking how this is going even worse than the last time we did this. I did this.
You can do so to a reasonable standard. However, you were completely covered in gore from your your ghoul stink rubbings, and then all of your dealings inside the cave. So it wasn't as noticeable, but you managed to wash the majority of your own blood off yourself. The
Do
rest
I
of
think
your watch,
lesser restoration or protection from poison would be better against this?
protection from poison would be much better for the two of you. Sorry, protection from poison would be much better for Torlek. Lesser restoration for yourself.
Okay.
So the rest of your watch goes by uneventfully. You all awaken as the dim, cloudy light of dawn begins to grow and creep across the sky. It's been a cool night, but not cold enough to make you uncomfortable. You are alone, and all you can hear in the middle distance is the sorrowful, mournful groans of the ghoul impaled at the ghoul ward.
Okay, so as soon as I wake up, oh well, I guess I'm awake still. As soon as I've got my spell slots back, I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on myself, and Protection from Poison on Torlek, blowing both my second level slots immediately. Oof.
Okay. Okay, so that is going to mean that in the next pulse, if you do not get healed before then, two of you will only take minor.
Thank you, Godfrey.
Yeah. So yes, when you make your con save, you will only be taking minor, and you will only be taking one minor as well.
Well,
I was gonna
protection
save the surprise.
the protection from poison one lasts an hour, so should I wait until it's getting to the point and then cast it on him?
Yes, you would think it'd be best to wait until the point, when it was about to happen.
Okay, so I'll cast Restoration on myself just to make it, because that just happens, and then I'll save the protection from poison for later.
Yeah. The surprise was going to be that it's 1d4 minor effects next time, but you've negated that with your healing spell. Okay, guys. So yes, new information.
Upon waking,
I'll also explain to Torlek what's happening.
and I will
Torlek,
drink that in and say thank you.
Yes, you are no longer poisoned.
I'm not right. Okay, well, now.
But you're still under the effect of the disease.
So I have level 1 exhaustion. I've got a festering wound.
No, your level 1 exhaustion has been cured for the two of you because you were resting and Callum used spell. So.
Oh, I thought you couldn't remove it in this. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna let that one go because of the choice of spells that Godfrey used.
Nice one, Godfrey. Okay.
But you will get it on your second pulse.
So I've got a festering wound which reduces my hit point maximum by a d8 every 24 hours. And last time you rolled that, Mr. DM.
Yes. So everyone that has a festering wound.
Does the Lesser Restoration do anything against that? I've got one as well.
Lesser Restoration. Let me just check. I get mixed up with the spells. Let me just double check with the wordage. The wordage of Lesser Restoration.
It says one creature cured of one disease, so I guess I would focus on the more dangerous one. So probably not. I would have to cast it again, I think, too.
Yeah, that's gonna be focusing on your infected heart.
Yeah, it's fine.
So everyone that has a festering wound, your hit point maximum is reduced by 6.
Fucking.
Does that stack, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
My hit point maximum is now
from
8.
what I got there was Godfrey, Jessiel, Torlek, and our poor departed Sindri all had festering wounds.
My max is 17 now.
My max is 8 now.
Wow.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Additionally, I have a pierced stomach, which means because we've had a long rest, I have to succeed on a con save or be poisoned until I complete another long rest.
Well, you're protected from poison.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you didn't do that yet.
Oh,
Cool.
oh, no, he
Well,
hasn't done that yet. Very
Well,
true.
whenever it would have been the most beneficial, I was going to use it. I don't mind using it now if that's when it would be.
Yes. Well, I'll let you choose. He's either going to be poisoned now until he has a
Possibly.
long rest,
Possibly.
or he's going to be he's going to be protected from poison later and only receive a minor effect of his disease. So if you use it now, he will not be poisoned until the next long rest. He'll be fine. But at the next pulse, if he's not healed, he will receive 1d4 minor effects unless he saves, and then it's just one minor and one major.
Okay, I'll save it for later then. So you just have to
Can
try not to get poisoned this time.
I was going to say, can I work out how long it's going to take us to get back to Braskov from here?
Yes, at your current pace, from where you are now, it took you just under 6 hours to get back to Braskov, to get from Braskov to where you were.
So providing we don't get waylaid, we're getting back there before the next disease pulse.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
So I could cast it now then if you want.
yeah, but um, no, save it, mate, because being poisoned, although it's bad, it's not as bad as whatever the fuck necrotic heart pulse is gonna do.
Yeah, okay.
Con save. Con save is lots. 18.
Wonderful. That's fine. So you are not poisoned, Matt.
Wicked.
That is great. Right. Yes, that's all I can tell you. I will let you know, just so I'm not being horrible, that the necrotic pulse is a d20 of necrotic damage.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
it's a pretty
fucking
nasty
mental.
disease you guys got. Just from the situation you were in. All right. Okay. So dawn has greeted you all. Do you light a fire or do you cold camp? Are you having some coffee or are you just having dry, cold rations?
I feel much like food myself. Everything tastes like iron.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I say we just eat something quick and then we make our way to Braskov as fast as we
Mate.
possibly can. Go and have a nice
Yeah,
meal in the
crack
Golden
on.
Stag.
I agree.
Okay.
And
So
then
with Neria fought for their fallen comrade, the horrors in which they have just experienced and barely got away with their lives, our small band of heroes picks themselves up off the floor and sets course for Braskov.